Hello, amazing people. How are you doing today? So, I hope you're well. I hope you're keeping your mental health in check. And I hope every day you're living positively. And remember, you direct your brain on how to think. When you want something, then you have to tell your brain what you want, and you have to believe that it's going to happen. What happens mostly is us losing hope. And when we lose hope, then of course we have told our brain that that's not going to work. So everything that you're throwing into the universe will present you with negative responses. So you must say it with your lips. You must profess it. You must believe that it's going to happen. Thank you for joining me. My name is Trizo Patricia Cheng, and I'm the director for Tripod Wellness. I am a wellness therapist. Some people call us counselors. So, today, as I always do, I want to take about 2 3 minutes to talk about our teenagers and our children in school. So, this past week, I have been engaging a lot with the teenagers and young adults who are going back to school, and a lot of gratitude to the parents who left their children and young adults and teenagers in my hands for me to have a word with them. And I tell you for free that I learned a lot too from them. And what I can tell you is, parents and guardians, we need to sit down, we need to also check ourselves, and we need to know and see how we are guiding our children. The most important is we need to also deal with what we have kept in our subconscious and unconscious, because they actually guide us on how we are parenting our children. So the highlight for the last week for me was peer pressure. And I talked to so many students about peer pressure, and I was asking them, how is it? How do you find yourself doing things that some of your peers have asked you to do? Do you have boundaries? Can you say no? Which are the various ways in which you can say no? Which are the various ways in which you can refuse to do something that you do not want to do? Are you scared, and what are you scared of? Are you self-aware? Do you know who you are? Identity. Because then if you also know where you're headed in life, if you know the career you want to achieve, and you know the future life that you want, then you are not going to find yourself in some of those issues or incidences that you don't want to participate in. So as we were talking about pressure, I ended up also, just educating them on types of pressure, the negative peer pressure, and they also needed to know that there's positive peer pressure, so that they can differentiate those two and ask themselves, which one is this? Is this someone, or are these people who mean me well, or are these people who want me to get into problems? All right. We also got to look at how positive peer pressure affects them, and how the negative peer pressures also affect them. We also learned the type of peer pressures: direct peer pressure and indirect. Direct is someone telling you, do this, take a sip, smoke a little, let's go, let's engage, let's indulge. Indirect is when you see people doing something and you decide to do it just by observation, and you feel like you want to belong. You have to belong. And I say I was talking to teenagers, but then I know this one cuts across even to us who are adults. Sometimes we just want to do something because people are doing it, without asking if it works for you, or if, that is really, really what you wanted to engage in. So it's not bad to find yourself doing that, but then make a stop, pause, hold, and ask yourself, is this really the journey I wanted to take? Is this really where I am heading to? So I also taught them, I've said, how to handle negative pressure and positive pressure at the same time. Drawing boundaries, saying direct no's, giving reasons, even, just a little, even without justifying. You could say, no thanks, that's not my thing. I know, I don't want to do that. That's not my thing. You don't have to give a reason. But if you want to, because maybe the person you're talking to is somebody you really value, then you at times want to give a small reason on why you're not doing something. And also, um, You could give an excuse. I mean, you know, I can't do that because my mother or my father will beat me up, you know. So for you, it's true, it's real or not, but you want to get away from whatever it is. So we also learned how to build friendships with positive influence, how to look for the right people, you know, people who are consistent, and look for people also who, you know, who treat others the way you would want them to treat you. And be very wary of those who will talk about other people in your presence, because they'll always talk about you in their presence. We are told about this every day, and we experience it even as teenagers right now. And then look for people generally on who share what you value, who share what you would want, and then put yourself in the right spaces, of course. And then also be a friend that you would want to find. You know, if someone is not calling you and you would wish that they call you, why don't you call them first? Okay, so be that friend that you would want to find. You're looking for someone who is responsible. Are you responsible yourself? You're looking for someone who is funny, for example. Are you funny yourself? Are you looking for somebody who is peaceful and mindful and all that? So be also that friend that you want another person also to be to you. And we talked about setting boundaries early. Let people know who you are. Stop pretending. I don't like this, I don't like this, I'm never gonna settle. Whatever it is you want to do, I'm not going to settle. I do not like doing that. That's not my value, and I'm not headed that direction. Okay, so my parting shot today is, even as we speak to our teenagers and young adults, even as adults, I want us to check ourselves and find out if we had dealt with some of this, you know, childhood memories or some of these issues we went through as we were growing up. Also find out if, you know, your children are free with you. Help them set some of these boundaries. Help them know who to look out for. Help them know which kind of friendship or groups that they should engage in. Give them communication channels so that when something looks like it's going wrong, then who can they reach? Who can they talk to? What are their safe spaces? What can they run and do when they feel that they're being pressed to do something they don't want to do? But if they don't have alternatives, because you're assuming you have told them, get away from bad company, don't indulge with children who do certain things, but where are they going to? Where are they running to? Where is their safe space? So, can we ask ourselves these things even as we try to take care of our children and young adults who are back in school? But of importance is, as adults, can we also check ourselves and deal with whatever issues we are keeping in or storing in that are really guiding and controlling how we are taking care of our children. I want to thank you so much for being part of this discussion today and for just listening to what I had to say. We are going to have a lot more of such sessions, so please be here. All right. Thank you so much, and God bless you.